It's a bad memory. Anish was deeply in love with Isha, but he could not maintain a physical relationship with her. Basically, was there any fault in him, or was there some other reason? Anish, say at least once, I love you. Isha said, putting her hand around the neck of the Anish. Yes, I love you and only you. I can't live without you. The Anish smiled. Isha also admitted with a smile, now I feel better. Anish and Isha have known each other for the past 8 years. Both studied in the same college. It was friendship in the beginning. Tinish care of studies, both of them used to walk together, participate in college programs. Friendship later turned into love. Isha was the only daughter of an affluent family. She wanted a loving, understanding husband, not a money man. She had received him as a Anish. She was waiting. She was going to talk to her parents about Anish when he got promoted. Even so, Anish was Anish in a reputed company at a good position, but Isha felt that if she got another promotion, she would proudly introduce Anish to her parents. Anish got promoted and Isha congratulated him and said, "Today I am Talanish to my parents about my marriage. I am sure they will like you." While having dinner, Isha said, "Father, I am giving you a good news. I have chosen my life partner." Surprised, he asked, "So?" "Oh wow. Who is he?" "I'll invite him to dinner tomorrow night so you can talk to him properly. His name is Anish." The next day the Anish went to Isha's house. His education, job position, his other choices were so good that Isha's parents were very happy. "Isha, your choice is perfect. This is the kind of son-in-law we wanted," he said. The very next Sunday, Isha's parents went to meet his parents at Anish's house. Both the families were cultured and rich. Anish's father said, "We like Isha. But I tell you one thing in advance, that we have adopted the Anish. He is not our son. We had no children. He loves us just as much. You can rest assured that Isha will also find love and respect in our home." Anish's father's business was booming. He had a lot of respect and honor in the society. Isha's parents had no problem with this relationship. First there was a wedding ceremony and then the marriage took place. The bride Isha was Lunish, so beautiful. His college friends also came to the wedding. Some were married. Some were made to happen. Everyone together made the wedding more beautiful. The ceremony is over. The bride was sent. Following Lakshmi's steps, Isha came to the Anish's house. Anish and Isha's first night. His room was decorated with garlands. Flower petals were lying on the bed. Isha's original good looks were more exposed due to the adornment. Seeing her, the Anish was filled with love. He was staring at her. As soon as he extended his hand, Isha rested in his arms. Next morning Isha took a bath and wore a beautiful blue sari. Phone calls from friends started coming in the morning. "Isha, how was the first night?" She was smiling and telling everyone, "Well done. Wonderful." Anish was also getting calls from friends. The whole day ended in happiness and laughter. Both were fun. It has been a month. Anish had to attend work. His friends in the office also welcomed him with love. There was quite a bit of teasing. A lot of days were passing. In the morning Isha was around the Anish till he left. Then don't look at what the in-laws want. There was a chef to cook. But Isha herself was quick to grow. When the father-in-law ate and went to his work, the mother-in-law and her own food was increased. It's been a year since the wedding. The mother-in-law was pleased with Isha. But she was eager to see her grandchild. She used to say to Isha, "Now let you be a child." Isha he used to humbly say, "Yes mother, you are right." The mother used to say to the Anish, he would laugh and say, "Yes mother, the baby will be born, what is the hurry?" 2 years have passed since the marriage. Once in private Isha said to the Anish, "Anish, don't you distort my words, don't misunderstand me, but one thing I don't understand is that you love me so much, kiss, embrace, fulfill every desire, but what is necessary to be a child? Sex does not happen between us, why? Even after 2 years of marriage, we are still living the life of singles. What you say is true." The Anish admitted. That night Isha sprinkled the room with a rose-scented spray. She herself dressed in a beautiful pink nightie and approached the Anish. The Anish smiled happily at her. He said, "You look like a newly blossomed lotus." Isha hugged him. Isha was excited by the kiss hug. But to Anish her away from him, the Anish said, "Isha, no more, come on, let's sleep." This behavior of the Anish made Isha pass away. She felt like a peacock flutters its feathers after Luanish at the clouds, and the clouds disappear as soon as there is no rain due to a gust of wind. Her Manmo's feathers also faded away. Isha was persistently, quietly trying to arouse Anish to get physical, but to no avail. Isha used to wait for the Anish every evening. After dinner, the two would sit on the terrace and chat, sometimes under the moonlight and sometimes under the starry sky. You don't know how to pass the time while chatting. One such night, Isha said to the Anish, "Anish, shall we go out for a walk somewhere? It's been a long time since we went out." The Anish did not avoid anything from her. He immediately booked flight tickets to Kathmandu. Both went to Kathmandu. Isha took pictures there in Nepalese dress. Isha still looked like a bride. He spent 7 days seeing all the beautiful spots there. The Anish was not avoiding any of Isha's words. He loved her dearly. Even Ish knew and felt it. He did not leave any of her wishes unfulfilled. But he couldn't give Isha what she wanted at night. Even though it had been 4 years since the first night, he would ask for her forgiveness. He often used to say, "Divorce me and get another marriage. Even if I want to, I cannot give you what you want." His eyes filled with tears as he spoke. Isha held him close. "Anish, don't say that. We are running for 7 days. Promise to be with each other. We will not leave each other under any circumstances. Anish, I love you too. I will never leave you, but we want at least one child, right? You have to try for that." 5 years of marriage. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother, father, relatives, friends all used to say to Isha, "Enough planning, let's have a baby soon." The arrival of a baby in the house brings vitality. Isha used to smile and say, "That's right, now I think. But what will happen just because?" In order to have a child, a husband and wife must have sex. She didn't know. What is the Anish's problem? Why would he try to avoid sex? She wasn't complaining about anything else. He was comforting her, keeping her happy. What if he adopted a child? At least people's questions will be closed. She consulted a doctor. The doctor said, I have to see your husband. There are many reasons for such behavior of a man. She told the Anish, I have come to see the doctor. They want to meet you too. The time has been fixed for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Okay. Let's go. After going to the doctor the next day, the doctor asked Isha and Anish many things. Everything was normal. So even the doctor was confused for a few moments. He said, men have some reasons to be apathetic about sex. Excessive acrimony causes impotence in men. The problem of erectile dysfunction occurs, the sperm count is not enough. It cools the libido. Often men have depression. Depression affects the overall life a lot, as well as the sex life. Even if there is tension or stress during sex, it affects the sex. Due to depression, the chemical composition in the brain is disturbed and it affects the sex life. That means there are solutions for that too. If you are a heavy smoker, stop acrimony, eat a nutritious and balanced diet, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, do pranayam to keep your mind calm, do yoga, and take some medicines to get rid of the problem. Diabetes or obesity also affects libido. Nervousness can also be the reason behind erectile dysfunction. Often men are deficient in the hormone called testosterone. It affects the sex life. Some men have problems with premature ejaculation. A man ejaculates before a woman is satisfied, so he avoids intercourse with his wife. But after discussing with both of you, I don't see any such problem. Anyway, Anish, you should check your hormone levels sometime. Bring me the inspection report. There was nothing wrong with Anish's hormone report. That means physically the Anish was fully capable as a man. Isha is also madly in love with him, and yet they are yet to have sex. The doctor thought and said to Isha and Anish, I will send you to a sex counselor. Take my note. Your problem will definitely be solved. The very next day, Anish and Isha approached a sex counselor. He also calmly understood all the cases. Then asked the two some more questions, from which they came to know that the Anish had no such problem. Everything is fine in the office too. On the contrary, he has received 3 promotions in the last 8 years. What is it that he cannot satisfy his wife sexually even when there is no problem or tension at home, society, financial level? Anish, I want to talk to you privately, said the doctor seriously. Isha got up and went out. Now the doctor asked the Anish about the events of his life from his childhood. The couple he is currently living with are his adoptive parents. The Anish was saying, Sir, we had a family like me and my parents and my aunt. Ta was 12 years older than me. Baba got her married to a friend's son at the age of 18. Parents died unexpectedly in an accident. Before that he had prepared his will. I had a bit more wealth to my name. Ta also had her share written in it. I was 8 years old when my parents passed away. Ta brought me to her, because there was no one to look after me. Bhauji also had no problem with it. But Kali entered the minds of Taz in-laws. They lost touch with wealth. They started Asanish stayed for Baba's death certificate. They wanted to change it at their own convenience. He also took Bhauji to himself. They started beating her every day and Asanish for death certificate. Taz started to worry about me. She was afraid that those people might even take my life. One of Taz's friends' relatives had no children. Ta asked them if they would adopt me. They agreed. Bhauji was becoming more violent day by day. I was still living with Ta. One night Bhauji had drunk a lot of alcohol. Was unconscious. When they came, they closed the door of the room and started kicing me and Ta with sticks. I started crying out of fear. They hit my head against the wall and started hurling insults at me while stomping on Ta. Then they put Ta on the bed and they start having sex. I closed my eyes in fear. I lost my sanity. Ta was dead in the morning. I was very scared. My present parents brought me to their home. Ta's girlfriend had probably informed the police. I don't know what's next. My present parents took a lot of effort to recover from that incident. It is because of their love that I am here today, but what Bhauji did with Ta at the age of 8 or 9 is deeply rooted in my mind. It never crossed my mind that my mother died because of that sex. After I have sex with Isha, the thought that Isha will die, leave me, dominates my mind at that moment, and I don't want sex. I see Ta's dead body in Isha's place and I am away from there. It all happens automatically. I don't have control over myself at that time. The Anish said everything in one breath. Now he was quite relaxed. The doctor noticed everything. The Anish just needed a little counseling now. That fear in his mind should go away and then everything will be fine. He asked the Anish to come again after 2 days. At that time he also met the Anish's parents. He had the post-mortem reports of Anish's sister. It was clearly written that the death of the Anish's sister was due to inhuman beating. The Anish's brother-in-law was in prison for his wife's murder. Now the situation was clear to Isha and Anish's parents too. When the Anish went to the doctor, he said to the Anish in a very loving but easygoing manner, "Your sister died not because of sex, but because of the cruel beating she got. Your sister-in-law used to fight Ta a lot. You saw that, but you saw the sexual abuse of her at a young age and then you saw her corpse. It was a huge blow to your young mind. Your married life failed because you couldn't forget even in your youth that your mother died because of sex." The counselor showed the file to the Anish. Ta's death has nothing to do with sex. It had nothing to do with it. Get this out of your head. Physically you are fully capable of sex. Now think calmly. You have to try to change your mental state. The doctor will prescribe a short course of pills to stabilize the mind and spirit. All the best. Now the overall situation was easier. Isha booked a beach hotel in Goa. She wanted to get Anish out of his old environment. The Anish never refrained from saying Isha. He happily agreed. In the evening there was a pleasant stroll along the beach. In the natural environment, the spirit of both emerged. Valanish him through the Bilgun sand, Isha said, "Anish, I fell in love with you because of your virtues, your intelligence, and above all, your ability to understand the mind of others. Even today, No woman will be so lucky as me. I have promised to support you continuously in marriage. It says the same even now. I am always with you in happiness, sorrow, success, failure. Anish embraced her impulsively. After coming to the room at night, while sleeping, Isha said, "You both love each other, don't you? Then don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to me when I'm with you. Be open-minded and take me close. Fulfill my wish, do this for me." She was benevolently cheering him up. She was giving him courage. 7 nights passed. The Anish was no longer afraid. He felt confident. Now he did not remember Tascopes. He was happy, was relaxed. Isha called the counselor and Anish's mother and said, "We have succeeded.